Okay, we're here with head women's volleyball coach Korey Schroeder. Coach, weekend split, played really well to start the weekend at LMU. Then came up against a tough Pepperdine team on Saturday. Just talk about where the team's at right now.
Yeah, I think we're still in an okay place. I think it's really easy to reflect on the Pepperdine match and think things are burning down and but we got to remind ourselves that we were playing really good volleyball up until that match. So try to learn from it and have a good week of practice and prepare ourselves this week. But really happy with the way that we played against LMU. Tight first set. And then we came out and we played some really good defense, which has been a huge focus for us, and we were able to side out on first ball. So did some really nice things against LMU, and then things just didn't turn out our way against Pepperdine.
If you were to kind of summarize in one word, what do you think kind of caused that 3-0 loss to Pepperdine?
Yeah, I don't know if I can sum it up into one word. I mean, it was the best team in my opinion that we had faced in conference. Even though they had lost to Santa Clara and we beat Santa Clara, to me Pep's pretty dang good, and they expect to win, and they've been a high level program for a really long time, and they showed that. So they changed up their lineup a little bit. They had some people contributing that had been done an okay job for them, and they had really great matches. And so that's on us that we need to slow them down. Things weren't good on either our offense or defense. We hit under 100, and we let them hit close to 500. You're just not going to win a match doing that.
Gotcha. And then what was maybe a bright spot you can take from that to learn from going forward?
Yeah, I think for us, it's an opportunity to respond. We had talked the past couple of weeks that things are going to get tough. It could be tomorrow, it could be a month from now. Things are going to get tough. We're going to drop sets. We might lose a match that we don't feel like we should. And for us, it's our ability to respond and be mentally tough through that, and be able to learn. So, for us, hopefully we can learn a little bit and take that going forward. So, I think our pass did a pretty good job, and Pepperdine's probably one of the best serving teams in the conference. They have 6 servers that go back there and put a lot of pressure on you. Our pass was able to get us in system, and then we just weren't able to execute off of that.
And then of course you got San Diego. You're playing them twice in the span of 2 weeks. How might having those 2 tough matchups so close together maybe is it a positive or a negative for the program?
We'll see. We'll see. Yeah. Same thing with LMU. We played them last Thursday. We played them this Saturday already. It's an interesting wrinkle to the schedule. We didn't have this last year. I'm not quite sure why this ended up happening the way it did. But it keeps it fresh on who the opponent was. I'm sure we'll see something a little bit different from LMU this week, and we'll probably see something different the second time that we play San Diego. But we don't have to think too far back of the last time that we played them. But it's a fun little stretch here to be able to play some really competitive matches.
And so staying on the topic of San Diego, obviously star-studded lineup. They got 2 players who have over 240 kills. They lead the WCC in blocking assists, and they're the only undefeated team in the conference right now. What are your 3 keys to success in that game, in those matchups?
Yeah, they're a heck of a team. They're a heck of a team. I think we knew that going into the season. Pretty much that entire lineup is back, and they got some new contributors as well. So heck of a program. But try to go back and look at the teams that have been able to put some pressure on them. LMU did a really nice job against them to start the conference. It's a boring answer, but service pressure is always going to be the thing that we're looking to do. If we can take them out of system, obviously they have some pins that are really good, so they're going to be able to still chuck it up to them, but hopefully help our block out a little bit and be able to take them out of system, on our side. And we got to pass well, and have our middles be available. Then I think, playing here in Bowler is a special place. And so making sure that we take advantage of playing in front of a home crowd and building on that. We were able to use the crowd here last year to beat them. And so I think that's a huge thing for us this week as well. Hopefully we can get that gym packed and have a bunch of people on our side.
And of course, we kind of touched on it before, but you got LMU sandwiched in between those 2 matchups. Are you worried at all about that game maybe getting lost in the fold?
No, I don't think so. I think we're doing a pretty good job of going 1-0 and trying to take care of what's ahead of us. So, we're focused on San Diego right now, and then as soon as that match is over, we're turning and focusing on LMU again. We already know that they changed some things after we played them for their match on Saturday, and they did a great job against Portland. So we'll expect to see something a little bit different, but no, I don't think that'll get lost. We'll have our full attention on them on Friday and Saturday.
Has there been any sort of like messaging or just different mindset coming into this week where, tough opponent with Pepperdine last week, but maybe a chip on the team's shoulder heading back into this week as you face a tough San Diego team?
Yeah, no, I don't think the messaging is changed a whole lot. I think us as a staff, we're trying to remind them that we have been doing things really well and not get caught up in that one match. We need to learn, grow, and then move on, and get ahead to the next opponent. And so whether this was San Diego coming up or anybody else, I think we're going to have that same focus going into this week. So the reality is that match happened and didn't go our way, and we can't dwell on it. We got to figure out how to beat our next opponent. So no, messaging hasn't changed a whole lot this week. Just trying to figure out how to get the win.
All right, our team's home this Thursday against first place San Diego, and then on Saturday against LMU. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks. Go Cougs.